Chapter 256. So you are eldest senior brother. Ding Hao started to get dizzy as if a flashbang went off in his head. Who is this guy? He discovered me and even knows my name. Impossible. I have been so careful all these years, never giving myself away. How could he discover me? Waves rose in Ding Hao's heart, and his thoughts became a whirlpool. The two green-hair zombies along with the black-hair zombies and white-hair zombies around the camp became still. Everyone in the camp were stunned by this unexpected scene. However, Ding Hao immediately came to his senses and reacted. The battle in the camp resumed. Fang Yuan knew he had already half succeeded upon seeing these two green-hair zombies remaining still. He shouted, "Ding Hao, you will regret if you don't come out." Ding Hao was hiding within some bushes. He gritted his teeth and asked while controlling the green-hair zombies to surround Fang Yuan. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" Fang Yuan snorted. "Of course it was my master second zombie king who told me." "Ah." Ding Hao could not stop, but let out a cry of surprise. Master and second zombie king. These words were like a boulder descending and creating a huge wave in his heart. He stood up and walked out of the bushes, his two eyes staring tightly at Fang Yuan with shock and doubt. "Who on earth are you?" Ding Hao anxiously asked. Fang Yuan snorted and said in an overbearing tone, "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear me? I am the second zombie king's eldest disciple. Hey Tuesday Ding Hao, I will count to 3. If you don't call back these two green-hair zombies by then, hee. You are eldest senior brother? Wait a second, how did Lord Benefactor know my name?" Ding Hao held suspicions towards this entire issue, but regardless, he still called back the two green-hair zombies to his side. Fang Yuan's expression turned stiff as he scolded. "Who is your eldest senior brother? Master has yet to take you in as his disciple. How dare you pose off as one?" Ding Hao had no way to retort back. Fang Yuan's tone softened. "Don't you talk to the stone slab all day? How could Master not know your name?" "Ah." Ding Hao uttered a cry of surprise. All these years, he had lived alone with only the zombies as his companions. When he felt depressed and painful, he would go to the final cave and pour out his heart to the stone slab. He had never expected Fang Yuan to expose his secrets with one remark. I thought that was an ordinary stone slab," Ding Hao stammered. "Humph. What level are you at? Of course you cannot understand the profoundness of the stone slab. Master has vast powers. How would you be able to see through it?" Fang Yuan disdainfully sneered. In actual fact, even if a rank 9 Gu master were to see the stone slab, they wouldn't be able to see the profoundness of it. That was just a common stone slab. However, in Fang Yuan's previous life, Ding Hao himself had personally narrated it in his recollection of his struggles in life after he made a name for himself. Ding Hao licked his dry lips. He was almost fully convinced, but he still had some doubts. He gave a deep bow towards Fang Yuan and cupped his hands. "Lord He too, since you are Master's disciple, then please show me our unique characteristic, the zombie heart goo." Zombie heart goo was a goo specific to the zombie king's lineage. It resembled a heart, had 7 holes, and was stiff as stone. It was a rank 3 goo, was cold to the touch, and seemed to be made of bronze. Zombie heart goo could produce rank 2 running corpse goo. It was similar to charred thunder potato mother goo, which could produce charred thunder potato goo. Rank 2 running corpse goo was also a consumable goo and was used on corpses to form zombies. However, it had an advantage over charred thunder potato goo. The zombies it created could grow up and advance a stage. For instance, white-hair zombies could become black-hair zombies. Black-hair zombies could become green-hair zombies, and so on. Fang Yuan possessed charred thunder potato mother goo, but he had no zombie heart goo. However, he was not in the least nervous towards Ding Hao's request. He opened his mouth and boldly scolded. "Cut your crap. I am on a secret mission assigned by Master. I had to disguise my identity to join the caravan. How could I carry zombie heart goo with me? Zombie heart goo feeds upon zombies. How could I get zombies in full view of everyone?" This, Ding Hao was stumped. "What this, do you think I can't kill you?" Fang Yuan timely revealed his snow-silver primeval essence. Rank 3 peak stage cultivation was clearly revealed. Ding Hao's pupils shrunk. He was only at rank 3 middle stage. Fang Yuan immediately followed. "Although our lineage can control zombies and form an army of them, controlling zombies requires our concentration. If our soul is not strong, our mind will be weak. then our control over the zombies' quantity and quality will only be ordinary. Although you have 2 green hair zombies, there will definitely be gaps when you defend yourself while controlling them. It will be very easy for me to kill you. Ding Hao licked his dry lips and retreated a step back with some fear. However, Fang Yuan immediately changed the topic. Before I left, Master told me about you and wanted me to check if you had the qualifications to enter his tutelage. To think you actually approached me with killing intent when I have not even started looking for you. This, eldest senior brother, it wasn't intentional. Ding Hao started panicking when he heard Fang Yuan was someone sent by second zombie king to inspect him. Who is your eldest senior brother? You have yet to receive master's approval. You are still doubtful now. Fang Yuan raised his brows. Ding Hao quickly cupped his hands and said in a self-mocking tone, Eldest senior brother, since you are clear on zombie heart goose food and our weakness, no matter how stupid I am, I recognize eldest senior brother's identity. Fang Yuan kept a poker face and did not speak, only looking at the 2 green hair zombies. Ding Hao was stunned for a while before immediately realizing. With a shift of his mind, he sent the 2 green hair zombies away. Then he walked before Fang Yuan, bowed, and said submissively, Please forgive me, eldest senior brother. I wanted to kill these people to collect enough zombies. I really hadn't expected eldest senior brother to be here. If I had known, I would have come down the mountain and welcomed you. I really yearn and am determined to follow Master. Heaven can testify my loyalty. Fang Yuan relaxed his tone. Master knows of your loyalty. Before I departed, Master spoke of it and praised your loyalty when he asked me to inspect you on my journey. Even if you had not reached the standard, as long as there isn't a huge gap, it's no problem. So it was like that. Ding Hao was overjoyed. However, Fang Yuan's expression turned heavy and his tone cold. You had the cheek to attack the caravan, wrecking my secret mission. Do you know how much effort I and your second senior sister had to waste to infiltrate this caravan? Eldest senior brother, it really was not intentional. Ding Hao was indignant. His excitement just before sank through the floor due to Fang Yuan's words. Second senior sister is also in the caravan? I will call back the zombie horde. What? Fang Yuan was furious as he knocked his fingers on Ding Hao's head. Is your brain made of glue? Can't you think? You moron. Wouldn't they start doubting me if the zombies retreated for no rhyme or reason? Idiot. Ding Hao rubbed his aching head before quickly nodding and apologizing. Yes, eldest senior brother is right. Then eldest senior brother, I will do whatever you say. Fang Yuan pointed at Ding Hao. You have already made a serious mistake, but considering it was not intentional, it can't be helped. Next, do as I say to make up for your mistakes. Ding Hao was like a grandson being admonished as he kept on nodding at Fang Yuan. However, Fang Yuan didn't mention his demand immediately and instead asked, Tell me the truth. How many white hair, black hair, and green hair zombies do you have? Also any blue hair zombies? Ding Hao showed an ashamed expression. I am stupid. I have been living at Mu Bei Mountain for close to 10 years, but have yet to raise a single blue hair zombie. As for green hair zombies, I only have 3 of them. I left one inside the cave to stand guard and have brought the other 2 with me. I have over 120 black hair zombies and close to 4,000 white hair zombies. Fang Yuan had expected him to not have any blue hair zombies and was able to be at ease after confirming it. He intentionally made a sound of surprise and spoke nonsense. You are not that far from the target. Having 3 green hair zombies is pretty good, and as for blue hair zombies, even I have only 2 of them. He was clear of Second Zombie King's requirement to take in disciples. Second Zombie King had not just left behind one inheritance. He had taken in 7 to 8 disciples in Fang Yuan's previous life. Ding Hao is only one of them. Later on, Second Zombie King joined Etian Mountain and was besieged by the Righteous Path. The disciples of Second Zombie King commanded great zombie armies and showed off their talents, causing the Righteous Path allied army to retreat at one point. As Ding Hao listened to Fang Yuan, his heart was cleared of doubt. He looked at Fang Yuan with admiration. Eldest senior brother, you are amazing. You have 2 blue hair zombies. This junior brother is full of admiration. Fang Yuan patted Ding Hao's shoulder and showed an expression of feeling proud inwardly, but intentionally suppressing it. To raise a blue hair zombie, if you say it is difficult, it is difficult. If you say it is easy, it is easy. I will explain it to you. You need to first find a rank 4 Goo Master's corpse, then the rest is up to your luck. It depends on whether this corpse had used a goo worm in his life to raise his strength. If he did, it will be at least a green hair. If you use fresh blood to nurture it for a year or two, it will evolve into a blue hair. I see. Ding Hao knew Fang Yuan spoke the truth after he combined it to his own experiences. He gratefully said, "Thank you, eldest senior brother, for your pointers." Fang Yuan slightly nodded his head and carefully checked Ding Hao's expression, knowing the latter had complete trust in him now. Ding Hao had originally been a servant and then secretly cultivated for close to 10 years on Mubei Mountain. His honest character made him easy to deceive that in fact, even those who were very scheming would be moved by Fang Yuan's words and would at least believe most of it. No use in crying over spilled milk. Act with me, and if your performance is good, I will give you a pass from my side, Fang Yuan said. Ding Hao's eyes brightened and immediately replied, "Please speak, elder senior brother. I will definitely do my best to accomplish it." Fang Yuan gave detailed instructions before charging back to the camp. With Ding Hao's secret cooperation, Fang Yuan returned beside Shang Xinci without any mishaps. Seeing an expert like Fang Yuan returning to their sides, everyone in the caravan was surprised, happy, and in their perspective, Fang Yuan could have already escaped, but he fought his way back to them. "I am burdening you, benefactor." Shang Xinci felt ashamed and guilty. "No matter. You are only one of the reasons. Besides, Bai Yun is also here." Fang Yuan shook his hand and intentionally said this, making Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai feel even more moved. Bai Ningbing glanced at Fang Yuan with doubt. Fang Yuan vaguely winked at her. She immediately realized he was up to no good. Chapter 257, A Spear from Behind. The zombie horde's attacks gradually slowed down and the situation came to a standstill. Time passed minutes by minutes. Occasionally, some Goo Masters heroically sacrificed themselves or zombies fell down. 2 hours later, Ding Hao followed Fang Yuan's instruction and steeply increased the attacks of the zombies, breaking the defensive line that was hanging by a thread. There were only 30 or so people in the caravan now. They had to break through. They were all of one mind on this, as every one of them could see that there was a chance at survival if they broke through, and if they insisted on defending their positions, their deaths were certain. To breakthrough would also be a desperate struggle. Layers upon layers of white-hair zombies had encircled them, and there were also black-hair zombies obstructing them. "Give up on these mortals. They will only slow down our speed," Jia Long shouted. Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai became pale. "Don't worry, I am here." Fang Yuan defended them. All the remaining mortals were ruthlessly abandoned. Only the two of them remained. Jia Long and other Goo Masters didn't dare to say anything since they had to rely on Fang and Bai's strength. They were progressing shakily through the siege, and just when it looked like they were about to break out, 2 green-hair zombies appeared. "We will go back." Fang Yuan pulled Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai and said in a soft voice. Bai Ningbing stopped. Weren't they entering into the encirclement again by going back? However, Fang Yuan was already retreating towards the back with Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth as she looked at the empty field in front of her, but she still turned around and followed Fang Yuan. The other Goo Masters fell into a chaotic battle against the 2 green-hair zombies. Green-hair zombies were as strong as Thousand Beast King, and though there were many rank 3 Goo Masters, they were already exhausted. As their battle with the green-hair zombies continued, the surrounding black and white-hair zombies closed in on them. This instead caused the pressure on Fang and Bai to decrease greatly. Fang Yuan retreated dozens of steps before he started breaking through again. Numerous white-hair zombies were blocking their way, but Fang Yuan just plunged and dashed. The power he displayed was extremely high. White-hair zombies died everywhere he passed. Bai Ningbing was dumbstruck. Was this Fang Yuan's true strength? These white-hair zombies are too weak. She immediately found something amiss when she attacked. The white-hair zombies that were blocking them were many times weaker than before. They had dazed expressions and didn't even attack properly. They were more like punching targets. Did Fang Yuan discover this weakness and is using it now? Strange, these white-hair zombies look the same. How in the world did he discover these weakness? Bai Ningbing was bothered and bewildered. Fang Yuan, however, was hurling curses inwardly right now. Before departing, he had reminded Ding how to make the zombies appear strong although actually weak, and make it realistic. So what horrible performance is this? Ding Hao was sweating profusely. He had never exerted so much concentration to control the zombie army. He was extremely nervous, feeling that he had destroyed eldest senior brother's secret mission. Guilt and worry made him cooperate with Fang Yuan's act with all his efforts. It was okay when he didn't know Fang Yuan's identity, but now that he knew Fang Yuan was his eldest senior brother, how could he dare to truly attack him? Amazing! Xiao Dai exclaimed in surprise. Shang Xinc's beautiful eyes also brightened. Fang Yuan was moving unhindered, like an unmatched general maneuvering on the battlefield, giving off a feeling of invincibility. Who does not love heroes? Which girl did not dream of a prince riding a white horse, a hero saving the beauty? Xiao Dai did, and so did Shang Xinci. Right now, as the master and servant looked at Fang Yuan's wide back, there were ripples in their hearts. Fang Yuan was ugly. But at this moment, this ugliness gave off a beautiful radiance to them. His bravery and spirit gave an indescribable sense of security to these two girls who were in this dangerous situation. They could not help but want to rely and depend on him. Such terrible acting, this coward. Fang Yuan really wanted to kick Ding Hao to death. His thoughts moved rapidly and he could make out Ding Hao's mental state. It seems I have no choice. Fang Yuan narrowed his eyes, then he resolutely deactivated Canopy Goo and charged towards an attacking white-haired zombie. His flesh was torn open. Fang Yuan got injured. Good. This is how it should be. Fang Yuan happily thought. This was the best chance to win Shang Xinc's trust. How could he let it go in vain? Damn it. Bai Ning Bing cursed and immediately rushed towards Fang Yuan, abandoning Shang Xinci. Fang Yuan had the Yonggu on him. That was the key to her reverting back to a man, and it could absolutely not be lost. Oh my heavens. Ding Hao's whole body shook when he saw Fang Yuan being injured. He was blaming himself. The worry and panic was clear on his face as he mumbled. It wasn't intentional. It really wasn't intentional, eldest senior brother. Ah. Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai both cried out. Their hearts ached seeing Fang Yuan injured. What are you doing? Go back and protect them. Fang Yuan shouted in a soft voice when Bai Ning Bing approached him. Bai Ning Bing's blue pupils widened. She immediately realized Fang Yuan had intentionally received the attack. This bastard. Don't go overboard. Bai Ning Bing's eyes twitched. She said these words and left. With Ding Hao's control, the white-haired zombies made threatening gestures, but it was all show and little action. Bai Ning Bing kicked a white-haired zombie flying and hurried back towards Shang Xinci. How's He too? Shang Xinci grabbed Bai Ning Bing's arm and asked. He is okay. Bai Ning Bing's lips twitched. Why are you not switching with him? He is injured. The gentle Shang Xinc's words carried a rarely seen grievance. Bai Ning Bing's lips twitched. She couldn't tell that Fang Yuan intentionally received the attack, right? So she casually made up a reason. He has always been like this. He will never stop when he starts an assault, unless he falls. Shang Xinc's beautiful eyes flickered and slightly reddened. Xiao Dai covered her mouth. Her eyes were already moist. There were ripples in the master and servants' hearts again as they looked at Fang Yuan. What kind of man was this? In this horde of zombies, he moved around without fear, constantly pressing forward. No doubt he was a hero, a sorrowful hero. Seeing Fang Yuan injured, Ding Hao was shaking with fear and didn't dare to obstruct the path. Fang Yuan charged ahead for some distance and led Shang Xinci and the group out of the zombie encirclement. That's it. He smacked his lips with dissatisfaction and grudgingly looked at the only injury on his body. It was such a good opportunity to show off, but he only received a single injury. The act was really lacking. Despite only suffering a single injury, it already made Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai extremely worried. Hey too, are you okay? You were injured. The wound is so deep. All because of me. Shang Xinc's eyes were becoming moist with tears. So much black blood is flowing out. Lord Heitu, you have been poisoned. Xiao Dai said with deep concern. Fang Yuan puffed out his chest and said in a deep, fearless voice, this is just a small injury. The corpse poison is somewhat troublesome, but I can detoxify it with clearing heat goo. You don't need to worry. Ha ha ha. He started laughing. The camp was in ruins, flames blazed everywhere. The remaining people in the caravan had set the camp aflame before leaving. It was to burn their bridges and also to have a source of lighting. Fang Yuan and the group charged out of the zombie encirclement and reached the outer perimeter of the light from the fire. The light shone on Fang Yuan's face, chest, and his injury. He laughed. His appearance was ugly, but it gave a different kind of heroic charm to the two girls. They had dreamed of dreams of heroes saving the beauty, dreamed of handsome and unrestrained hero, Truthfully, the image of Fang Yuan and their image of heroes were as different as day and night. However, strangely, the two girls felt this was the true hero. He was unrestrained, fearless, and had unmatched heroic spirit. Many years later, Shang Xinci would ask herself how Fang Yuan walked deep into her heart. Every time, she would involuntarily think of this night, layers upon layers of zombies to his back. Blazing flames shining upon his face, the burned scars on his face, his smile revealing his white teeth. His deep black pupils looked at herself, the normally cold and indifferent eyes, under the orange flames, revealed a hint of warmth. Save us. The caravan group were deeply encircled by the zombie horde and started shouting for help when they saw the situation in Fang Yuan's side. Fang Yuan's gaze flashed, but he didn't speak. Shang Xinci had already grabbed his arm. You are injured. Don't go. Let's leave. Do you remember what you said to me? Do only what you are able to. A peace of mind as long as one does what he can. Fang Yuan laughed and patted Shang Xinci's hand. Don't worry, I am not going. There is no kindness or hatred between them and me. Let's go. However, it wasn't so appropriate to leave like this. What if someone knew he killed Zhang Zhu and under desperation, shouted it? What would Shang Xinci think then? In truth, his worries were unnecessary. Chen Xian and Chen Shuangjin, who knew about the matter, had already died in battle. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with a bright light as he shouted loudly, "Continue to persevere. Wait till I bring them to a safe place. Then I will come help you. Brother Heitu is righteous. We hope Brother Heitu returns quickly. Brother Heitu, if you save me, I will give you a huge amount of money." The caravan people shouted one after another. Fang Yuan laughed bitterly and looked at the master and servant's puzzled gaze. I am giving them some hope so that they might create a miracle. Sigh, I can only do this much. Fang Yuan's image immediately rose to a much greater height in the two girls' hearts. Fang Yuan and the group ran along the mountain passage. Under the moonlight, the mountain passage looked like it was covered with snow. As per their previous discussion, Ding Hao arranged a batch of zombies around here to block the path. The four rushed to the arranged area. Fang Yuan signaled by Ning Bing with his eyes, then stood at the spot. You guys leave first. I will stop these zombies and hurry back to you. The master and servant's steps immediately slowed down, but under by Ning Bing's persuasion, they continued to run along the path and soon left Fang Yuan's sight. Fang Yuan laughed. He acted as if he was in a struggle with the zombies and finding an opportune timing. He activated jumping grass and jumped over the zombies, arriving beside Ding Hao. The battle with the caravan was still ongoing. There were only 3 remaining in the caravan side. But what amazed Fang Yuan was a green-haired zombie had actually perished. After asking Ding Hao, he realized a goo master had used a rare rank 3 detonation goo. Eldest senior brother. Ding Hao immediately bowed. His face was pale and his forehead filled with sweat. He had never tried splitting his thoughts to control the zombies with such intensity. The main thing was he had to act according to Fang Yuan's directions, making him more exhausted. Previously, he would just command the zombies to attack or retreat. How could he have commanded them to only make threatening gestures and attack empty air? And he still had to control these zombies to keep still when attacked by Fang Yuan. Eldest senior brother, how's your injury? It really wasn't intentional. I have a healing goo here. Ding Hao started to explain hurriedly. Fang Yuan patted his shoulder. You are good. You have put in a lot of effort. No need to worry about my injury. I suffered it intentionally. Now, you just have to use more strength and eradicate these people. Yes. Ding Hao immediately let out a breath of relief. With his spirits raised, he started maneuvering countless zombies forward. The surviving 3 knew their deaths were certain. One closed his eyes and sighed. Another cried out Fang Yuan's name, and another was crying loudly. Under the threat of death, their natural instincts were fully revealed. The zombie horde submerged the 3. Fang Yuan satisfiedly nodded. Was there anyone who escaped? No, absolutely none. I did what eldest senior brother instructed and arranged a large amount of zombies in the perimeter. Ding Hao quickly answered. Good, well done. Clean up the battlefield. Remember to not leave behind any tracks. Yes, eldest senior brother. Ding Hao had never exposed himself when he attacked the caravans, which showed he had certain level of accomplishment in clearing the tracks. He cleaned up the battlefield with ease and disguised the traces as ordinary zombie horde attacking the caravan. Fang Yuan secretly nodded his head in approval. However, although he was older than Fang Yuan, his experience couldn't compare to the veteran Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan pointed out some areas that were overlooked, causing Ding Hao to admire him. For instance, The primeval stones couldn't be entirely taken, they had to leave some behind. After all, the zombies wouldn't collect them. Another point would be not all the corpses should be changed to zombies. The corpse poison could be deep or shallow, and they didn't have 100% chance to turn corpses into zombies. Eldest senior brother, please take these primeval stones. About 5 minutes later, Ding Hao sensibly offered the primeval stones he collected. Fang Yuan glanced at it. There were approximately 13,000 primeval stones. He didn't hesitate to take it and put them into soda flour. How are your gains? Fang Yuan patted Ding Hao's shoulder and warmly asked. Ding Hao's pale face let out an excited light. The gains are huge this time. I obtained 5 complete bodies, and they are all rank 3 Gu Masters. There are also dozen Gu Master corpses. They are all strength Gu Masters. I will get at least black hair zombies once they are turned into zombies. Ha ha. You have obtained a good harvest. Raise these black hair zombies properly, and you will definitely have new green hair zombies. Ding Hao repeatedly nodded his head, his face filled with admiration. This is the first time I have devoured a whole caravan. It is all thanks to eldest senior brother for attracting beast groups along the way and constantly reducing their forces. All these gains I made is because of eldest senior brother. You are not too shabby either. Your commanding ability is quite good. But looking at your face, you have used your brain too much. Your mind is haggard and your soul is wounded. You need to recuperate for a while. Taking good care of our soul is very important to our lineage. If our soul is not strong, our mind will be weak and commanding the zombies will be more difficult. Fang Yuan smiled, speaking gently. Thank you, eldest senior brother, for your concern. Ding Hao had lived alone for close to 10 years. This was the first time someone showed concern for him, so he couldn't help being moved. This emotional spike immediately caused him to have an intense dizziness. His body shook, and if not for Fang Yuan supporting him, he might have fallen headfirst into the ground. I am ashamed. My cultivation is still not enough. I am feeling dizzy, and my mind is not working properly. Ding Hao was able to barely stand up. There is no need to worry. Return to the cave and rest properly. Although you will still feel headaches tomorrow, your mind will have mostly recovered and can smoothly command these zombies. Fang Yuan smiled. Yes, I have experienced this before when I tried to control too many zombies. I almost fainted on the spot. Ha ha ha. Ding Hao laughed. Okay. I need to leave now. I give you my approval. Rest properly and wait for me to come back. I will bring you to pay respects to Master. Right? Where is your cave? It is halfway up the mountain beside a dark pond. It is easy to find. That dark pond is very unique. It is shaped like a pentagram. Ding Hao was very happy and immediately answered, Eldest senior brother, you really won't come visit my cave with me? I can't. Time is pressing. I need to hand over the secret mission to Master. Not good. Someone actually feigned death. There is still someone who escaped. Where? Ding Hao's mind shook and immediately turned around to look. Pew. Next instant, a bone spear pierced his skull. Plop. Ding Hao collapsed on the ground. A thick spiral bone spear pierced through his skull. Blood and brain slowly flowed out the spiral hole. His eyes were wide open, a look of utter disbelief. The smile on Fang Yuan's face disappeared, changing into an indifferent expression. He slowly bent down and grabbed Ding Hao's leg, dragging him towards the ruined camp. The flames were still blazing. The zombies, having lost their master, started hopping aimlessly. The corpses on the ground drew their attention, enticing them. They hopped towards the corpses, biting and tearing them. Fang Yuan dragged Ding Hao's corpse past the corpses-strewn battlefield. Sounds of zombies eating the corpses kept on reverberating in his ears. He threw Ding Hao towards the blazing fire and quietly looked on as the corpse slowly changed to ash. The goo worms on the corpse also mournfully wailed before gradually burning to death. Once Shang Xinci was recognized by Shang clan leader, she would definitely be strictly investigated by the Shang clan. This battle was sure to be of utmost importance. If Ding Hao was captured by them and interrogated, Fang Yuan could be in danger. Despite Ding Hao being an honest person, easy to deceive, and a very good chess piece, his worth could never match with Shang Xinci. And if there were risks, it was better to abandon them. This including giving up the goo worms on his body. As long as Fang Yuan carried them on him, Second Zombie King could find him. Moreover, it was not convenient for Fang Yuan to feed zombie heart goo, and it might only leave behind traces which could be discovered in Shang clan's investigation. As for these zombies, they had turned back to being common zombie horde after losing their master. Once they finished eating these corpses, a part of them would stay here and another part would leave, wandering about Mu Bay Mountain and searching for food. Once they were done with this, the whole scene would become even more natural. Only after Ding Hao's corpse was burned to ashes did Fang Yuan slowly leave. The zombies were eating the corpses. These mindless things were of no threat now. Chapter 258, Separation as Planned. The crescent moon hangs high in the night sky. As moonlight flowed down like water, Fang Yuan stood on a boulder and gazed far away, her face filled with worry. Why has Brother He Tu still not returned? Did something happen? Xiao Dai added. How could anything happen to him? Don't worry. Bai Ningbing leaned on a withered tree, wondering what Fang Yuan was up to again. Minutes and minutes passed, as Fang Yuan's brows furrowed while her worry kept increasing. Bai Ningbing also started feeling something amiss. Almost 8 minutes had passed. Did something really happen to Fang Yuan? She didn't care about Fang Yuan's death. What she cared about was the yang gu on Fang Yuan. Anxiety grew in her heart. Half of this was because of Fang Yuan's disappearance. The other half was because of her own helplessness. As Fang Yuan's cultivation continued to advance, she found it incredibly difficult to deal with him and get the yang gu. This meant that if Fang Yuan reneged on his promise, she had no way to deal with him. Bai Ningbing knew what kind of personality Fang Yuan had after traveling with him for so long. Fang Yuan's cultivation was nearing rank 3. The promised time was coming and her heart was becoming increasingly fretful. The three discussed, and just when they decided to return to assist Fang Yuan, he appeared in their sights on the mountain passage. Fang Yuan let out a breath of relief, but her heart pounded again when Fang Yuan walked in front of them. Brother He Tu, you are injured again. Fang Yuan had intentionally made some more injuries on his body. He drew in a breath of cold air. When you guys had just left, a green-hair zombie appeared. Fortunately, I ran quickly. We should leave immediately. It might still be chasing me. The three naturally didn't dare to stay any longer when they heard that and hastened their journey that very night. So far, Fang Yuan's objectives were achieved, and he behaved appropriately along the way. After crossing Mubei Mountain, they arrived at Shuangjiang Mountain. This mountain had 2 peaks separated by a deep ravine. The peaks were similar to each other and gave off a majestic aura. The four no longer had the caravan's protection now, so it seemed to take a lot more effort when they moved through the mountain. Fortunately, after crossing Shuangjiang Mountain, it was Shuelei Mountain. Shuelei Mountain had Zhao clan and could not be considered to be a wild area since there were human inhabitants on it. The most dangerous part of the trade route was already over, so the danger had greatly decreased. Fang and Bai were wanted by Bai clan, so they didn't go to Zhao clan. The four moved on relentlessly. After passing through Shuelei Mountain, they continued to cross Qianku Mountain, Jurin Mountain, Luzhao Mountain, crossing over 6 great mountains. During this time, Fang Yuan's cultivation advanced from rank 2 middle stage to peak stage. On the whole journey, they only stopped by some remote hamlets to replenish their supplies. They neared Shangliang Mountain. The mountain path became wider, and there were more people moving through the path. And finally, on this day, Shangliang Mountain finally appeared in their sights. Puff, that is Shangliang Mountain. Fang Yuan put her hand on her forehead to shield her from the sunlight, and looked at the horizon before letting out a breath of turbid air. Missy, we are almost there. Xiao Dai laughed happily, and excitedly shook Fang Yuan's arm. Bai Ningbing only looked and did not speak. We will go our separate ways when we arrive at Shangliang Mountain. Lady Zhang, I have paid your favor. Fang Yuan suddenly said. What? Xiao Dai gasped, not having expected Fang Yuan to say that. She stood on the spot at a loss. Fang Yuan's expression changed. Her eyelashes slightly trembled as she looked at Fang Yuan. These days, while Fang Yuan remained silent, he had already become a pillar of support for her. Now that he is leaving, Fang Yuan immediately felt a sense of emptiness and loss. All things must come to an end. Fang Yuan heaved a long sigh. True, Fang Yuan pursed up her lips. Her breathing was becoming heavy. After being in contact with Fang Yuan all the time these days, she knew his character. He was a someone acts upon his decisions, a resolute man. Let's go. It isn't quite safe yet. We will part our ways when we reach the city gate. Fang Yuan started walking in front. The atmosphere of the group had decreased to a freezing point. Even the incessantly chattering Xiao Dai was silent. The closer they were to Shang Clan City, the nearer their parting. Shang Clan City unconsciously slowed down Fang Yuan's steps. Shang Clan City was her destination for this trip, and she should have been happy as she neared her target. But right now, she didn't want to reach Shang Clan City. However, the path was after all limited. They eventually arrived at the foot of Shangliang Mountain. Shang Clan City's huge gate was right in front of their eyes. It was time to part ways. Fang Yuan gazed deeply at Shang Xinci and nodded his head, only saying 2 words, "Take care." It was simply 2 words, but it made Shang Xinci's beautiful body tremble. Fang Yuan turned around and left. Wait. Shang Xinci summoned her courage and suddenly spoke that it was a sea of buzz and commotions around the city gate, with people moving to and fro. Shang Xinci's beautiful pupils gazed at Fang Yuan as the crowds moved rapidly around them. "We will meet again someday. Benefactor, you might have repaid my favor in your heart, but you have saved me over and over again. This favor you have given to me is as deep as the sea and as heavy as the mountain. Benefactor, you said a drop received in need will be repaid with whole river. I will definitely repay you." The young girl's tone was firm and revealed her resolute heart. Fang Yuan smiled towards her, then turned around and left, gradually disappearing within the crowd. Shang Xinci stood on the spot for a long while. "Miss, they are really heartless, leaving just like that." Xiao Dai walked over and held her hand. "They do not want to implicate us. Their demonic path identity cannot be exposed even on Shangliang Mountain." Shang Xinci's nature was kind, always thinking of people positively. Oh, it was like that. Xiao Dai realized. They might be demonic Gu masters, but they are good people. I have decided I will make it big on Shang Clan City. There is definitely a place for my talent. I might just be a mortal who can't cultivate, but I can hire Gu masters to work for me. I will definitely repay their favor in future. Yes, I believe in you, Missy. Strange, you have protected Shang Xinci all the way. Why are you intentionally parting ways now that we reached Shangliang Mountain? I have to remind you that there is a huge flow of people in Shang Clan City, and you don't have an investigative Gu. If you are just playing hard to get, make sure you don't lose track of her. If not, you will just be shooting yourself in the foot. It would really be a great joke. Bai Ningbing coldly reminded Fang Yuan from the side. Fang Yuan ignored her. His gaze followed Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai till they walked through the city gate, and only then did he retrieve his gaze, as per his previous life's memories. Shang Clan leader should detect his bloodline in Shang Xinci once she entered Shang Clan City. However, for confirmation, the tyrannical Shang Clan leader would round up all the people of the caravan, which Shang Xinci joined at that time, and keep them in house arrest as he interrogated and investigated them. When the truth was cleared up and Shang Xinci's identity was confirmed, Shang Clan leader generously compensated all the caravan members by twice the amount of their goods. Shang Xinci directly jumped from being a mortal girl to being Shang Clan leader's beloved daughter. This event caused a sensation and became a popular conversation topic. This is why Fang Yuan needed to part ways with Shang Xinci. Fang Yuan had many Gu in his aperture which could never be exposed to others, especially the spring-autumn cicada. If he was investigated and his aperture searched, it would become a huge trouble. If it was an ordinary clan, Fang Yuan would have no worries because the clan leaders who usually had the highest cultivation would only be at rank 4 stage in such clans. However, Shang Clan leader had rank 5 cultivation, and that wasn't even the highest cultivation here. There were supreme elders in the Shang clan possessing rank 6 cultivation. If they were to search Fang Yuan's aperture, the spring-autumn cicada would be discovered even if it hid deep within. Saying his farewell had another advantage. He would appear to have no desire or need anything from Shang Xinci. This would deepen the impression of only repaying favor in her heart. Later, when he meets Shang Xinci, he would definitely obtain her trust. Actually, the quickest way to form an inseparable relation to Shang Xinci is through sexual relation. Fang Yuan could sense Shang Xinci had good feelings towards him. If he took her chastity, the future Shang clan leader would fall deeply in love with him. Fang Yuan might appear ugly, but the charisma he released already moved Shang Xinci's heart. He knew Shang Xinci would not refuse him if he wanted it, but this way absolutely could not be carried out. If he did it, he would become Shang Clan's son-in-law and would be bound to the chariot called Shang Clan. Then Fang Yuan would no longer be able to do things his own way. His every movement would be watched by others, his hands and feet bound. Even his cultivation would have to be purposely suppressed. As his cultivation increased rapidly, it would expose bone-flesh unity, goo, which was sure to cause an upheaval and attract all kinds of attention. Fang Yuan understood how much bone-flesh unity goo was worth. Even Shang clan could not keep it for themselves. And if Spring-Autumn Cicada was revealed on top of that, those reclusive rank 6 goo masters, even rank 7 goo masters would jump out one after another. After reaching rank 6, the goo master would experience a qualitative change in their strength, each of them able to contend against the strength of a whole clan. Once he had sexual relations with Shang Xinci, after Shang Xinci confirmed his identity, even if she was Shang clan leader, they would all come looking for Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was moreover a demonic goo master with unknown origins. It was unavoidable for him to be investigated and interrogated if he escaped. He would have to face Shang clan's pursuit and arrest warrant. This was a completely different concept from Bai clan's arrest warrant. Bai clan was in dire straits and didn't have enough strength, but Shang clan was one of the overlords of southern border. Fang Yuan would only have one way out if that happened. That was to escape from the southern border. Shang Yanfei was sitting cross-legged in the air, his whole body bathing in flames. The flames were scarlet like blood and were burning silently in the dark void. As the leader of Shang clan, he is occupied with clan affairs every day and does not have much time to cultivate. Even so, with his domineering aptitude and comprehension, he was able to cultivate to rank 5 upper stage and was only a step away from peak stage. But today's cultivation was about to end. The scarlet flames slowly dispersed and shrunk, finally changing back to long crimson hair on Shang Yanfei's head. Without the illumination from fire, darkness spread, becoming the sole master of the area. Suddenly, Shang Yanfei opened his eyes. His pupils were dyed color of blood, and his gaze shone like lightning as it pierced through the darkness. A new bloodline that originates from mine. How did this appear out of nowhere? Chapter 259. Reunion of Father and Daughter. Shang Yanfei's thoughts stirred and immediately disappeared from within the darkness. When he reappeared, he was already at the outer area of Shang clan city. All kinds of noise entered his ears. There were various stalls located on both sides of the street. The people in the surrounding only saw a flash of bloody flame. Then a black-robed, crimson-haired handsome man appeared in their midst. Whoa, scared the soul out of me. Who is this man? He actually dares to use his goo in Shang clan city. Many people cast bewildered gazes. Only few recognized Shang Yanfei, but they were not sure. Shang Yanfei ignored these gazes and followed the bloodline reaction. His sharp senses landed on Shang Xinci. 2 girls stopped in front of a stall. Missy, this hairpin is really beautiful. Xiao Dai picked up a jade hairpin from the stall and matched it with Shang Xinci's beautiful hair. Shang Xinci forced out a smile. Her mood had been down since parting with Fang Yuan. Xiao Dai was instead lively, fascinated by the flourishing scene in the city. Suddenly, Shang Xinci felt something in her heart and turned around. Her gaze immediately landed on Shang Yanfei. The black-robed, crimson-haired Shang Yanfei was very conspicuous in the crowd, like a crane in a flock of chickens. However, what attracted Shang Xinci was not his appearance, but rather a mysterious familial connection and calling from her bloodline. Without any word being said, the moment Shang Xinci saw Shang Yanfei, she knew this middle-aged man's identity. He was her father. Father. To Shang Xinci, this word was mysterious and distant, containing sorrow and sadness. Since young, she had asked her mother countless times about her father, but her mother always remained silent. And now, she finally met her father. So this was the reason mother told me to go to Shang clan city before her death. Realization dawned upon her and tears uncontrollably fell down her eyes. The moment Shang Yanfei saw Shang Xinci, he connected it to her mother and realized her identity. Similar, they were really similar. This child's gentle appearance was no different from hers. Shang Yanfei suddenly felt pain in his heart. He was vaguely able to see her again. In that distant afternoon when spring rain was drizzling down, when willow trees were carefree swaying beside the lotus pool under a shabby hut. Shang clan's young master Shang Yanfei met the young lady of Zhang clan who was running from rain. A meeting of a scholar and beauty. It was love at first sight. They poured their hearts out to each other and pledged to be married. However, one could only be helpless in the affairs of the world. Power and beauty was just like fish and bear paw. Who could have both? The young Shang Yanfei was someone with blazing fire in his heart. This fire was the natural ambition of men towards power and influence. Ambition or love, duty or freedom. Oppressing his enemies or his promise to the beauty. Shang Yanfei chose the former in the end and abandoned the latter. He later defeated his brothers and sisters, ascended to the position of Shang clan leader, and sat on the glorious throne. He became a rank 5 Gu master, married countless beauties, and now had many sons and daughters. And because Zhang clan and Shang clan had been enemies for generations, he could no longer look for her. One cannot control everything in the world. Clan leader's identity became his symbol of success, but also the shackles that binds him. The king's every movement could bring about upheavals and was closely watched by everyone. As the clan leader of Shang clan, how could he let his love affair affect the clan? All these years, he tried hard to convince himself and hide his guilt and worries deep within by using the reasons of righteousness and duty. He thought he had forgotten it all, but now when he saw Shang Xinci, those warm memories hidden deep within him instantly enveloped his soul like the sound of spring rain. Right now, waves were surging in his heart. The blood of kinship that is thicker than water had turned into a river. Now, his guilt overflowed into this river and became a sea, instantly submerging him. He took a light step and disappeared, reappearing in front of Shang Xinci the next moment. Xiao Dai gasped, the surrounding people all looked astonished and shocked, but the two people involved did not sense anything. You, what is your name? Shang Yanfei opened his mouth with great effort. His voice carried a magnetic quality and was filled with strong warmth. Shang Xinci did not reply. Tears streamed down from her beautiful eyes. She took a step back and tightly pursed her lips. She then firmly looked at Shang Yanfei, her gaze carrying stubbornness. It was this man who hurt her mother's heart. It was this man who caused her to suffer discrimination and bullying since young. It was this man who enchanted her mother, making her think about him even at death. It was this man, and yet he is my father. Her mood surged and raged, countless feelings mixed together to form a berserk whirlpool, threatening to swallow her mind. She fainted. Missy. Xiao Dai, who had been absorbed in Shang Yanfei's aura, regained her senses and screamed. However, Shang Yanfei was a step faster and held Shang Xinci on his hands. Who dares to openly violate the city rules and use Gu? Do you want to end up in prison? A group of city guards sensed the abnormal change and came over, swearing. Lord Clan leader. Their expressions instantly changed the moment they saw Shang Yanfei, and all of them kneeled down. The whole street was in commotion. You are. Shang Clan's, Xiao Dai stammered, and was speechless. Shang Yanfei grabbed Xiao Dai's arm. A blood-colored flame burst forth and the three disappeared. Line up in a queue, enter one by one. Everyone needs to pay 10 primeval stones as the toll to enter the city. Once you enter the city, you are not allowed to misuse your Gu. The violators will be sent to prison for at least 7 days. The guards at the city gate shouted loudly. There were many arrest warrants posted on the city walls. Some had already yellowed from age and was covered by other warrants, revealing only a corner of them, and some were completely new, posted carelessly on the walls. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing moved with the queue and slowly neared the city gate. Sure enough, they saw an arrest warrant for them from Bai Clan. Bai Clan. Fang Yuan inwardly snorted. 2 sirs, please stop. The gate guards approached Fang and Bai. The two were wearing common clothing and looked just like ordinary people. Bai Ningbing lowered her straw hat further down. Here is 20 primeval stones. Fang Yuan was not nervous. He simply handed over a bag. The guards confirmed the amount and immediately let them pass, despite there being arrest warrants packed all over the city walls beside him, which he could easily look at. He didn't give them a single glance from start to end. These arrest warrants were nothing more than superficial show. Shang Clan prioritized profits. As long as one handed over primeval stones, they could enter the city. Every day, numerous demonic Gu masters passed under the eyes of these guards. Both sides had reached a tacit mutual understanding. Demonic Gu masters would sell their loots in Shang Clan City, and they would also need to replenish any lacking Gu worms. Shang Clan City was the best option for them. One could even say, one of the huge pillars for Shang Clan City's development was the demonic Gu masters. Of course, the demonic Gu masters couldn't enter the city too brazenly and aggressively. After all, Shang Clan City represented righteous path, and they would also need to consider some consequences of their actions. A wide street appeared in front of the two after they walked through the city gates. There were people moving to and fro on the street. Large tall trees were planted on both sides of the street, and under its shade were all kinds of stalls. Some sold food like sesame breads, soft bean curd, meat and vegetable dishes, while others sold jewelry and all kinds of other stuff. The two walked past the stalls. Then they saw buildings. Tall bamboo buildings, mud buildings, and white-gray tiled houses. Shops, hotels, inns, smithies, and so on appeared one after another. "This brother, do you need a room? Our price is very cheap, just half a primeval stone for a night." A middle-aged woman approached Feng and by with a smile on her face. Fang Yuan glared at her and left without saying a word. His appearance was really terrifying and gave the middle-aged woman a great shock. She did not dare to bother him anymore, instead changing her target to Bai Ningbing, who was behind him. "This brother, being away from home is not easy. Our inn is quite good. There will even be a pretty girl at night. It won't be cheap for you to visit the red light street. Mortals like us who travel outside to sell goods are using our lives to earn money, yet spending our hard-earned money on those places would not even cause a ripple. Our inn's girls are still the best, extremely cheap too. We have mature girls and even fresh, cute, and adorable ones. What is your pick, brother?" the middle-aged woman said in a soft voice, with a vague expression. She misunderstood Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing as mortals from their clothings. A dark frown appeared on Bai Ningbing's face. "Get lost." She coldly snorted, her tone bone-chilling. The middle-aged woman's face rapidly changed. Her whole body stiffened as she remained stunned on the spot. So she was a female. "Ha ha ha, big sister Zhang, you made an error this time." The nearby workers, who were of the same profession and were soliciting customers, roared with laughter and ridiculed the middle-aged woman. Along the way, Bai Ningbing had made great progress in disguising as a man, so even the experienced brokers made an error. 4 Seasons Restaurant. 1 hour later, Fang Yuan stopped in front of a 5-story tall building. The building was made of white-black tiles, with vermilion gate and huge pillars. There was an aroma of wine and fragrance of dishes floating around the place. It was a famous restaurant in Shangklan City. "Sirs, please come in." A smart waiter saw Fang and Bai and quickly came out to invite them. The two had walked for a long while and the journey had been tough. They were also hungry, so they stepped into the restaurant. "Sirs, please take a seat here." The waiter showed the way. Fang Yuan slightly frowned. "This hall is too noisy. We will go upstairs." The waiter immediately revealed an awkward expression. "I won't keep it from sirs. We indeed have private rooms upstairs, but they are only open to Gu masters." Fang Yuan snorted and revealed a portion of snow-silver primeval essence. The waiter quickly bent down. "I had failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please come upstairs." When they reached the stairs, the waiter stopped. A young and sweet-looking girl walked over and spoke softly. "Lords, could I ask which floor you want to go?" For Seasons Restaurant has 5 floors. First floor hall is for mortals. Second floor provides for rank 1 Gu masters. Third floor provides for rank 2 Gu masters. There is a 20% discount for them. Fourth floor provides for rank 3 Gu masters and has 50% discount. Fifth floor provides for rank 4 Gu masters and the services are free of charge. Fang Yuan laughed. "Fourth floor then." The girl's expression immediately became a bit more respectful. She bowed in greeting. "Please demonstrate your primeval essence." Chapter 260, each with their own schemes. Steamed lamb, braised duck, steamed 8 treasure pork, glutinous rice stuffed duck, stir-fried carp, assorted stuffed intestines, spicy oil crispy roll, honey yam, sliced fresh peach, 8 treasure ding, steamed bamboo shoots, ape lips, camel humps, antlers, bear paws, 3 fresh osmanthus soup, beeswax pork trotters, fresh shark's fin soup. A moment later, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing sat at elegant seats on the 4th floor, as a spread of delicacies were presented before them, each possessing visual appeal, fragrant smell, and flavor. Fang Yuan picked up a pair of bamboo chopsticks and casually ate a few mouthfuls. He first tried the steamed bamboo shoots. They tasted refreshing, raising one's concentration. He next took a piece of the fresh peach. Its sweetness was perfection. Next he took the bear paw. It was plump and tender, just like the steamed lamb, tasting divine with just a bit of flavoring. Bai Ningbing drank a mouthful of the 3 fresh osmanthus soup, flavor spreading in her mouth as fragrance remained on her lips and teeth, causing her appetite to awaken. "After spending so much time with you, this is the first time you are so generous." As she ate, she did not forget her sarcastic comments to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan laughed, not giving a reply. He knew Bai Ningbing's suspicion and impatience. He got closer to Shang Xinci, using all his effort to protect her laboriously. And yet at their destination, he purposely split away from them. This action was something Bai Ningbing could not comprehend. Fang Yuan was now rank 2 peak stage, only a step away from rank 3. The agreement he set with Bai Ningbing back then regarding rank 3 was approaching its end too, but Fang Yuan would definitely not keep his word. In his eyes, such a thing like integrity was only a compromise made out of necessity, or a beautiful cover-up, like a convincing mask. Fang Yuan knew this, so did Bai Ningbing. Thus, she was starting to feel hasty, because she had already sensed that Fang Yuan would break his word. Yet, there was nothing she could do to Fang Yuan. The Yanggu was in his possession. Her hands were tied. Right now, without Bai clans hunting, and without beast hordes, Fang and Bai ate at the same table, giving off a sense of amiability. But their relationship was extremely tense. If they progressed one more step, they would fall apart and turn against one another. In this step, is Fang Yuan advancing to rank 3 that once he advances, he and Bai Ningbing would no longer had any hopes of reconciling. The two would have to face each other directly. How to deal with Bai Ningbing? Throughout the meal, Fang Yuan considered this. His cultivation could not stay stagnant. One day, the conflict will escalate. The situation now was very delicate. Fang Yuan had the upper hand because he controlled the Yanggu, but in fact, Bai Ningbing also held Fang Yuan's handle. She traveled along with Fang Yuan, experiencing Baigu Mountain's inheritance herself, while also saw how Fang Yuan attracted all those beast hordes to attack the caravan. She knew too much. Compared to the potential threat Ding Hao was, Bai Ningbing's threat towards Fang Yuan was far greater. If I finish off Bai Ningbing, I will not have to worry about Shang Xinci, but because my cultivation is insufficient, I missed the best chance to kill off Bai Ningbing during the caravan journey. Back then, I needed her strength to ensure my survival. Moreover, with Shang Xinci nearby, I could not strike easily. This Bai Ningbing had always been wary of me secretly, and she has the ice muscles jade bones to defend her. I cannot finish her in one hit. Furthermore, her battle instinct is outstanding. With her recently gained experience, she is even harder to deal with now. Fang Yuan considered all possibilities as his thoughts flowed, but at the same time Bai Ningbing was also deeply considering her situation. Since leaving Qingmao Mountain, there's finally a time to rest and recover. I have to take back the Yanggu and regain my male body. I have little chance of succeeding if I directly snatch it, unless I can kill Fang Yuan in an instant. But this scoundrel, even though he is rank 2, his fighting strength is much greater than that. Such a weirdo, with extremely experienced fighting techniques. Together with that scheming, devious mind of his, capable of committing all heinous crimes, no morals can restrain him. He is somebody who can truly commit any sin. Most importantly, I have not discovered his true trump card yet. But I have my advantages. His current cultivation is still dependent on me, and I know too many secrets. Maybe I can use these things to force him to compromise. Using the poison Vao Gu, and make an agreement with him that cannot be broken. Other than that, I can use plunder Gu, seize Gu, petty thief Gu, and others to steal the Yang Gu. Bai Ningbing was not stupid. She had been observing along the way, and considering her options, the two ate on the same table, not even 3 steps away from each other. They looked like good friends, but were scheming against each other in their minds. The disappearance of external pressure caused their internal conflicts to surface. In this relatively safe environment in Shang Clan City, they had the time to consider such problems, but the more they thought about it, the more troublesome they felt the other party was. Fang Yuan did things without restraints, but Bai Ningbing was just the same. In her ideology, as long as life is exciting, anything goes. Morals and principles? What are that? They were very similar, looking at the world with disdain, and were strong-willed individuals, with an extremely thirst for power, only trusting themselves. From others' perspectives, they were accursed demons, scum that harmed society. Their death would benefit the world. But because they were so similar, the two could feel each other's danger. The most difficult enemy to deal with was often oneself. Most importantly, they held each other's weaknesses. If they could not win in one strike and allowed the other party to escape and recover, then both of them would go down in flames. The two got a headache the more they thought about it. This Bai Ningbing is not easy to deal with. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth. He had too little resources to manipulate. This Fang Yuan has almost no weaknesses. By Ning Bing squinted, her eyes shining with cold light. The two could not think of anything, thus looking up at the same time, staring at each other. Their gaze met for an instant, before turning away. The delicacy before them, although delicious, had barely any flavor to the two who were deep in thoughts. Even though there was a 50% discount, Fang Yuan still paid 15. Primeval stones. Shang Clan City indeed. Commodities were expensive here. The two filled their stomachs and left the restaurant out on the streets. Fang Yuan heard people discussing. Do you know? At the southern gate, Shang Clan leader appeared. How is this possible? It's true, he came and left like a flash. The entire street was thrown into chaos. Bullshit. What kind of person is the Shang Clan leader? Why would he appear on the streets for no reason? Rumors spread as some claimed it was Shang Yin Fei, while others denied it. Fang Yuan chose to enter from the eastern gate, while Shang Xinci came in from the south. By the time the rumors got to the eastern gate, the truth had already been distorted beyond recognition. Bai Ning Bing heard this, and thought of it as just a passing rumor, not paying attention to it. Soon, people started a new conversation, but to Fang Yuan, it was a clear indication of events. He laughed secretly. It seems that Shang Xinci's situation did not exceed what he had expected from his memories. Next, he would wait for the fruits to mature and land on himself. Quickly look, it's the flying blue whale. E-Clan's caravan is here. Suddenly, someone pointed to the sky, shouting in shocked at once. People on the street stopped and looked up in the sky. A giant shadow engulfed everyone. In the sky, a giant blue whale slowly emerged. Well, compared to flying, one might as well say they are swimming. Flying blue whale was a huge beast capable of moving freely in the air. They lived above the 9 heavens of the eastern seas, having a peaceful and mild temperament. Often Gu masters used the whale enslavement Gu to control them and used them in the caravan. Flying blue whale was huge, like a small mountain, and the entire caravan hid within its body as it flew in the sky. Compared to the caravan moving through the forests, the danger was much less and the speed was much faster. But the flying blue whale consumed up to 500 kilograms of food a day. Only a large-sized clan could afford to feed them in the entire southern border. Only E-Clan owned flying blue whales. The clan is one of the overlords of the southern border, almost the same status as Shang Clan, and had a close relationship with the forces in the eastern seas. What a grand sight. Bai Ning Bing sighed. She thought about the former Bai Clan village. This blue whale just had to land on Bai Clan village, and the entire village would be in ruins. The huge figure moved towards Shangliang Mountain. As the flying blue whale gradually landed on one of the mountain peak, Fang Yuan could see from afar. It opened its huge mouth, and a large number of black dots emerged from its mouth. These dots were the E-Clan caravan members, but because of the distance, they could not be seen clearly. E-Clan caravan is here. The market is going to fluctuate again. I heard E-Clan brought a rank 5 Gu this time to auction on Shangliang Mountain. E-Clan and the Eastern Seas have a deep connection. They definitely brought many specialties from the Eastern Seas this time. There is value in purchasing them. The topic quickly shifted to the E-Clan caravan. Fang Yuan and Bai Ning Bing walked up the path together. Jiu Clan village was only a portion of Qingmao Mountain, but Shang Clan City covered the entire Shangliang Mountain. In the southern borders, even the number 1 clan Wu clan did not have such a massive mountain city. The entire Shang Clan City had all sorts of buildings: bamboo buildings, dried mud houses, brick houses, shacks, tree houses, and even mushroom houses, caves, towers, castles, and much more. These structures blended together, covering Shangliang Mountain in a beautiful garb with assorted colors. The trading hub of the entire southern border. Shang Clan City occupied the most space among all forces. But if one thinks this is all Shang Clan City has to offer, then they cannot be more wrong. This is only the outer city of Shang Clan City. Fang Yuan and Bai Ning Bing came to a huge cave. Would both guests like to enter the inner city? It will be 100 primeval stones per person. The guarding Gu master requested. Just entering requires 100? Bai Ning Bing expressed her shock. The inner city has a smaller space. This is to prevent irrelevant people from entering, and also to maintain social order. The Gu master replied respectfully. Shangliang Mountain had been modeled by Shang clan for thousands of years. Not only did they use up the surface of the mountain, but even deeper into the mountain's interior, they built an inner city.